everybody, Matt Geary here for Geek Pride's Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign, The Legend of Our Sacrifice. With me tonight, we have Michael Starval Eldon.
I'm sticking with the Helldivers intro for democracy!
We have... Oh, everybody's in the wrong place now, so I'm all confused. We have Jace as Brother Gadden.
Citizens, we require your service!
We have Lecky as Bartholomew Pringle.
Sorry, sir, but you'll get your shower on Tuesday and not a moment sooner.
Oh, what a meta joke. Meta joke. We have Mark as Lance.
Greetings, Dungeoneers.
And we have Vic as Saren Sanguine.
Ciao.
We possibly have a Conrad weeping on his phone, possibly watching in the sort of in the shadows because he can't play out tonight. But unfortunately, he will be NPC'd with potential WhatsApp shenanigans going up if he needs to do any rolling stuff. Right,
Citizen, we need a wisdom saving throw from you.
Wisdom saving throw. Right, okay. So there has a lot been going on. If you haven't been on our Discord, there's a link in the shared thing if you want to check out our Discord. But a lot has gone on since the last week, which was great. We had a lot of toing and froing with different things. The party are currently in Alamore, which is the capital of Kyrelia. It's a massive fortified city in the center of Freya. They warped there, or I guess they teleported there into a stable, and then have kind of taken themselves off into different places, did some shopping, met some people, got framed for murder, and you know, lots of things going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each one of these, and you can tell me what's happened with your character, with your downtime, for the chaps at home. So we'll start with you, Brother Gadden. What were you doing in your downtime?
Did some shopping, got some diamonds in case people died, Revivify and Resurrection and Greater Restoration. And then afterwards went to go to went to find the Legion, of course, except for the fact that Legion doesn't actually have a headquarters as such. They're kind of just a roving band of
Well, they do, it's just not on this plane, it's in the Celestial plane.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not on this plane, so to speak. That's why it's a case of like Helldivers, but on a different plane. So he goes, of course, to the Temple of Bahamut, as recommended by Gregor, speaks with a monk who basically tells him exactly what I just told you all. And then afterwards, he decides that he's going to pray just for some guidance and hoping to hear the wise words of the almighty Bahamut himself. Instead gets ported over in his mind to a tent with a very familiar figure, aka Foshu!
Yes, former paladin of the group.
Yeah. So they have a bit of a chit chat. The chit chat basically is can't help you, don't have enough people, but you could turn this to your advantage by turning Draken's dad against Tiamat by capitalizing on his own rage and sense of like lust and power, I think. So that was quite fun. Then afterwards said goodbye, said we were going to see Gregor again at some point, yada yada yada. Came out of the dream, the prayer, and yeah, so that's probably going to get proposed to the party.
Yep.
Although Gadden's going to withhold a bit of information because
because obviously it's probably not going to be something Lance is going to be overly happy about.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
He's prayed. He's talked to Valashul. He said, like, give me some help, and he said, I can't. Galmarath is basically opened up a second front in the Celestial Plane. They're trying to deal with that. They can't bring any men to help us out with getting Draken's body back. Then he said, look, Kiamat Red Scale is he's not a good person, but he's been looked over by Tiamat in favor of Therambor. Obviously, Therambor was the murderer of Draken, his son, and with that, there is potential to at least use my enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, sort of thing going on. So there is that angle of potentially using him as a way to help take them down. Obviously, he would need to be dealt with at some point later on himself, but at least, one enemy at a time, basically. Okay. Yeah, again, if you've just joined us, check it out. The downtime was on the Discord. It's in the T-Loss, which is the Legend of Our Sacrifice campaign roleplay. You can check out all the downtime chat there. Next up, we will go for Lance.
It's not bad. Not such a bad thing. I brooded for a little bit initially, obviously having to deal with certain things. The others buggered off without me, so I found my way with some assistance from the passers-by in their general direction, and went looking for an artificer, and found one who turns out to have been the man who originally taught Cleveland, who was very interested in working with me, in spite of his receptionist, who was a little bit on the "you can come back next week" side.
Have you got an appointment? Yeah.
Yes.
Khalid. The guy
So-
was called Khalid.
Khalid, sorry. Blanked on it. But anyway, after some discussion and some bargaining, Khalid has borrowed my treatise on Warforged, which he was very interested in studying, and he has etched upon me a rune of, I think it was Frost Giant Strength.
Yep.
Which has upped my strength in order to make me, because I'm looking to obviously bolster how I can contribute to things moving forward.
Yep.
So he's effectively holding that as a guarantor for a small payment to make for the balance on the rune later on.
Yes.
And
Two and a half
yeah,
$2.5 grand, I think you owe him.
well, 5 grand in, 2.5 grand to go. I've just got to kill a few things and go through their pockets. What's the problem?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, and that's it. Pretty much you'll finish off and you'll do your thing, which we can carry on with afterwards. Saren, you didn't get up to anything too exciting, did you?
Not really, just went shopping, sort of seduced to someone into giving me a little bit of a discount, but some poison and a nice new bit of armour, that's it.
That's right, you got yourself some studded leather armor and you got yourself some wyvern poison. So you got 5 uses on that, I believe, to add to your Dagor. But Tharaval.
Tharaval and his twin brother Saravel went to the sort of shadier parts of the city, looking for the Thieves Guild. Basically, Saravel sent off his underworld contact to sort of find out where the Thieves Guild was. To which point
Mockers
approached them in the street and told them of an establishment called the Five Finger Discount. So they attended this establishment, which was basically, it had like lots of vendors and like a sort of fight pit in the middle. And at the end of the sort of establishment, there was a woman sitting in what sort of looked like a throne. The twins introduced themselves and were sort of trying to do business with what she called herself was Queen Alicia, and Saravel and Tharaval, using their best Cockney rhyming slang in it, rhymed off, it's sort of do us a deal, governor, a bit of that, and got made quite a good bargain on a cloak of the Shadow Walker and gloves of thievery for about 6k. And they also were offered, if they could find an item for Queen Alicia, they would get 50% off on any future business. So they went. Well, she actually got very flirty with Tharaval and offered that he bend the knee and she would give him, she would be very generous. And Tharaval was like, "No, I have a girlfriend."
It was very odd for me trying to flirt with you.
Yeah, I was just like, "It's my brother flirting with me. This is just weird." Like I don't want to. I was like, I don't want to go down this stuff. I was like, no. But so ultimately, Tharaval said, let's just stick to, let's keep business and pleasure aside, or apart for the time being. Much to her disappointment, but she ended up telling them of the item that they were looking for was basically a wooden cup, which was in the possession by a short man. They had tried to take it from earlier on in the day, and the short man had beaten up a couple of their guys. Whenever they sort of figured out, they got more sort of information on what the cup was and everything like that, and they sort of very quickly realized that it was actually Arno, who owned the cup. So they swiftly left the establishment to warn him. Upon doing so, they found that we're being followed. So they tried to sort of make a ruse by the gentleman who was following them in the the Prancing Mare or something like that, the tavern.
Yeah. It was meant to be a rhyme on the Prancing Pony, so it was the Dancing
Mare.
Oh, yeah.
So, whenever the gentleman who was following them came in, Tharaval and Seravel had spotted another sort of short man in the tavern, and he had a wooden cup in his possession. So they sort of thought they could pretend that take the cup from him, and they'll have somebody witness doing it. Think they, to give the impression that they were doing the right thing, or ultimately whenever they went outside, the gentleman didn't really sort of pay much attention to them, so they tried getting his attention in the hopes that they could give the cup to him to take back, and he would just be quite stupid, and he's just he's just basically like a red shirt guy, sort of, for Queen Alicia, but he turned out to be a bit of a douche. In which case he shot mine bullets at Tharaval and Seravel and had them rolling about on the ground. Whenever they came through, they tried chasing him down an alleyway. They couldn't find him, but they did come across a box that had blood over and under it, and whenever they lifted the box, they found the short man that they'd taken the cup from under the box with a dagger in him and a note basically saying that we know what you just did. And at that point, the city guard arrived to try and arrest them, and they pretty much legged it. So they're kind of wanted for murder.
Yep.
I know.
A mild case of murder.
A mild
What
case
the
of...
fucking wild.
murder.
Yeah, so wild.
I was trying so hard not to make side quests of this thing, but it's very hard not to sort of kind of go with it and just do things. I don't think Draken's body's ever going to get found. It's just going to be...
I was going to say, Draken's body was a bit of a wild goose chase in itself. So, I mean, this is another goose chase within the goose chase. We're chasing a duck with
We're incepting right here.
Right.
Well, I'm just glad we didn't go for the side quest of nailing the Queen Alicia, because you would have had to describe that out, and I was like, no, that was weird.
That would have been a ChatGPT thing, I think.
Mildly uncomfortable.
I think the last thing Tharaval and Seravel see is it's a thing with he's obviously eating nuts and stuff, and he sees him sort of over the crowd, sort of look at them, smirk, put a nut in his mouth, and then sort of walk off. It's a sort of because the
What they do in the films.
the shells are something to do with the spell that he's cast and stuff. But okay, so next up, I'll do Arno, and then we'll go up to Barty because I think we didn't finish yours off, and we can sort of start from you. So Arno kind of intertwines with Tharaval slightly, so he's taken himself off. He's walked around, trying to. What was he doing? He was trying to find.
He was looking through taverns for his brother or something,
yeah,
was he
that's
not?
right.
Or
He was
taverns that he recognised?
Yeah, he was looking around to see if he could find his brother, and he's gone into a shop just to sort of buy some things, and the cup's fallen out of his bag. The owners basically said, "Oh, that's a nice cup. I'd like to purchase it," and he's basically told him to bugger off. He says, "I'll give you 200 gold." He says, "Piss off, no," and he's put it away. He's taken himself off. The owner or somebody else has sort of sent some men after him to try and retrieve said item from him. He has then used some magical witchcraft to make them sort of think something's happened, and he's escaped. He's then taken himself off to the dancing mare, where he's sort of inspected the cup, and the cup is quite an intricate looking one, and this is the one he's been given by Dyrelia from the Somnium Enclave. And it's a wooden, intricately carved cup with an oil holding some scales and a very smooth inside. So he's had a look at it, and he's sort of trying to figure out what it does and what it is. By which point Tharaval and Seravel have rocked up and said, "Somebody's after you," because they've basically heard from at the Five Finger Discount that he was wanted dead or alive. So there's something something is after him as well. He is then sort of invisibled himself and levitated up, while Seravel and Tharaval get themselves framed for murder, basically. And so Arno's sort of floating around watching this all happen. I'm not sure exactly what he's going to do, but we'll figure it out. And then we had Barty. You did some stuff. I think you just did some basics. You just did some shopping for bits and pieces.
Did some basic shopping. Went shopping for diamonds. Realized doesn't need diamonds, and ended up not shopping.
Oh yes.
So decided to visit his mum instead.
And that's pretty much where we left off in the downtime chat. We didn't get to finish it off, so we'll go from that point. So you've rocked up to where your family's bookstore was. You've seen an old lady there. You thought, shit, is that my mother? Turns out it's just somebody cleaning. Spoke a different language you didn't understand. And then you've gone inside and you've met a quite well dressed, quite well-spoken lady who's sort of asked if she can help. You've said you're looking for your brother John, Tito, and Broderick. And the order is Tito. Is John the oldest or is Tito the oldest? So who's the oldest?
So the original message, it was Tito, so we'll stick with Tito. So Tito, John, Barty, Broderick.
And is the asshole then Tito now, or is it still John?
Hey man, let's keep it. Whichever you think, they can both be assholes. As long as Broderick's nice.
Broderick's the one is your fave. Okay, Broderick's your fave. Yeah. Okay. And you've spoken to her, and she sort of kind of giving a bit of a side glance and went, "Barty, is that you?" And you've kind of gone, "Yes."
Yes.
Sorry, carry on.
I was going to say, have I got any inkling as to who she might be?
No, you don't know who she is. So she sort of she looks at you and she says, your brother spoke of you often. We never thought we would see you again.
No. I suppose that might be understandable. I've been away for some time. It's why I've come really. I was hoping that I might get some news, make sure everyone's okay. And drop this. I don't have long here. I will have to go soon.
She sort of looks at you and she says, you might want to have a seat. I'm glad you're here. We have some news. And she sort of sits you down in one of the sort of little chairs section where people can read. And she says, so we've never met. I'm John's wife. John was who was the oldest again?
Tito.
Tito. I'm Tito's wife. And I look after this bookshop. It was left to me after Tito died, unfortunately, and I look after the shop now. Your brother died a few years back.
Oh, this is a surprise. What happened?
We don't know.
Did he suffer?
She says
Is he missing?
She says I came back. I came back and to the shop, and he's sitting on in his favorite chair, and she sort of kind of gestures to the chair and says, and he wasn't breathing. I thought he just had a bit too many ales, as was his way, but he wasn't breathing. We got the local apothecary, but nothing could be done, and unfortunately, he passed away.
That is a shock. Oh.
And she sort of kind of looks at it, she says, fortunately, that's not all the news. Your younger, your sort of John. John is still around. He's a he's a bit of a waster. He doesn't really spend a lot of time helping your parents, who, by the way, still live. They live in the house just across the way here. I'm sure your mother will be happy to see you if you want to sort of visit. But your brother John, he just sort of bums around Allamore, gambling, drinking. He says it's because of the death of his brother, but I think he's just always been like that.
Yes, he's been very stubborn and not very
Helpful.
palatable.
As for your brother Broderick,
Yes,
your brother Broderick,
he's good.
He's joined the army, and is currently off on a crusade to deal with the corruption.
Oh, that doesn't sound particularly safe.
No.
Why?
Your mother worries about him daily. More so because she's already lost. She thought she'd lost you as well. She'd lost John. Not John, she's lost Tito, and John's just useless. So she thought she'd lost all of her children, so has been beside herself. So if you could, see her, I'm sure it would put her mind at least at some rest. But yeah, with Tito gone, you gone, John not being around, he felt like he needed to do something to make his family proud of him. And he's being nabbed by one of the Kyrelian recruitment sergeants, and has gone off to fight the good fight, unfortunately. He hasn't been gone long. He only left in the last month, but it is, like you said, a very dangerous place to be, especially in these times.
Oh dear. Well, I'd probably have some strong words to say, but I'm well, not at liberty to judge anyone, I suppose. After how long I've been away. What was your name again? Sorry.
My name is. What's her name going to be? Marigold. My name's Marigold.
Gold.
I
What a-
shouted it out. Just like screaming a name, and I was like, "Oh wait, I'm muted. Fuck!"
What was the name?
Never mind.
What was your name?
I shouted out, "Judith."
Judith. Okay, she's called Judith. All right, my name's Judith. All right, love. My name's Judith.
Oh god.
So your sister-in-law is called Judith. Let me write that down. Okay, yeah, so
Wow.
she says to you, I look after the bookstore for your family and try and help out your mother and your father as best I can. With their advanced age, they don't have a lot of movement about them, at least, so I look after the store, bring them their groceries now and again, and do whatever I can.
Thank you, Judith. I do appreciate your efforts, and thank you for keeping the shop in such well repair. Well, I suppose it's your shop, in such well repair, but you wanna Tito. And he pulls out like a little velvet bag from his pocket and like presses it into a hand. He's like, "You take this. It's not much, but a contribution towards the care of my parents."
Do you not want to
try
give?
and-
Do you not want to give it to them yourself?
They'll never accept it. It's best you take it.
She says
They're
they are
sounds a little bit
stubborn.
too proud. And
Um,
it's just like 200 gold pieces worth of various, not like rubies or whatever.
okay. Will you see them? Will you go and see them?
You know what, Judith? I think I shall.
Okay. If you need anything, please let me know. The shop is in good health. You will see, as you can see, it is probably as you remember it. Not much has changed around here, or at least I've been told. But they'll be very happy to see you. It's just the house across the way. I live upstairs, and they've been to one of the apartments across the way.
Okay, well. I'm sorry that we had to meet like this, but. Well, I'm for your loss. He
No,
was,
I'm sorry for your loss. I wish. And she says, your brother was hard. Was hard to live with. I'm sure you understand. But I did love him, and in his own way, he had a good heart. He did keep this bookstore running for many years. So you do have my sympathy as well.
Oh, thank you. I will return at some point, and well, I'll come and say hello again.
Please do. And she sort of kind of taps you on the hand and says, right, I best get back to organising these books. It seems that they're always having to be alphabetized and put in chronological order, and your father keeps on banging on about different ways
God.
to
Yeah,
itemize them.
Yeah. Well, why don't you try a new method? Like the libraries at the universities. You could do it by. Have you tried by topic? You could have all the magical books in one section. In fact, leave that section clear. You'll need that room for all the books about me. And then you could have the history in another section, interests, hobbies, downstairs where people like to, I don't know, drink their hot drinks or whatever.
So
And then you could have like atlases over in the far corner, hidden away where no one will look at them.
her eyes sort of kind of light up, and she sort of kind of runs over and gets a little piece of paper and a quill and starts sort of writing down some of these ideas. This is great. This is a great idea. I don't know why I never think of it. Your dad's going to hate it. But yes, wow, yes, amazing. Brilliant. Yeah.
Okay, well, take care, Judith. I'll bid you a good day.
You too, Barty. It's I'm glad we finally met. And please do return.
I will. And then, yeah, he'll head across to his mum and dad.
Okay, so you leave the shop, and she's sort of writing down her ideas and sort of sorting things out. You leave the shop and you make your way across the street to a it's a nice enough looking sort of block of residences. You go up the stairs, and there's a sort of door with sort of etchings on it, like your dad's probably done some carving on it, and there's a book with your sort of family crest. Though you're not sure you ever had a family crest, but your dad insists there was one, and it's over across the door, and you knock on the door. As you do, a few moments later, a elderly lady opens the door, looks at you, and drops the plate of scones that she was making. She embraces you and starts to weep. Your father sort of shouts from the background. What was your mum called, by the way?
Esme.
Esme, what's all that clatter about? And she doesn't say anything. She just cries and says, You're back. I'm so glad you're back. And just sort of kissing you on the cheeks and sort of holding you and, doing what mothers do, I guess. She says, I dreamt about you. We were at our dinner table. I dreamt about us together, having food, about that book. It felt so real, and now you turn up on my doorstep.
An omen. I'm sorry it's been so long. I met Judith. She's told me of the changes about poor Tito and Roderick.
She
John.
sort of looks down and she says, We don't know what happened to Tito. He just died. He just wasn't there anymore. Nobody can tell us why. Nobody can tell us how. He just died. Poor Judith had to find him, and as much as our loss, it's her loss too, and I feel for that girl. She helps us out so much. She's sort of kind of saying these things, your dad sort of pops his head round the corner and says, You're late. Come in. Let's have some tea.
It's only been 20 years.
Is that how long it's been? I guess you best tell us what you've been up to.
I'd like that. I think I would like that. And then Barty goes in, closes the door behind him.
So yeah, well, we'll not labour it much. We'll just sort of kind of say you go in and you have a chat with your family. They sort of tell you about how what's been going on. You tell them about your ideas with the bookstore. You told Judith your dad's sort of exasperated by this newfangled way of doing things, and it's not in his day. You would have done it in this order and stuff, and but it is. His mother says, well, it's Judith's shop now. It's up to her if she wants to do what she wants to do, and you have this sort of kind of nostalgic feeling, you know, the same sort of, you know, semi arguments that would have happened at the dinner table as you had when you were younger. And you know, they'd say about how Broderick left because his brothers left and he wanted to make a name for himself. He had very little interest in the bookstore, and I begged him not to go, but one day he just left. He didn't just abandon us, Barty, like some, but he did leave, and I'm worried about him because this is not a time for young lads. What age is he actually? What age is like 30s, or is he?
Oh yeah, he'll be like 37, 38. He's only like a little bit younger.
Okay,
And we
so
can make him loads younger though if he's in the army now.
Yeah, make him sort of like, you know, early 20s. We'll say he's in his early 20s. And you know, she's just worried about him. He's if only you'd been here, you could have probably talked some sense into him. He's always sort of looked up to you. But unfortunately he's gone. Not long ago, but he is. And then we'll just, you know, you just have that sort of basic chat, and they ask you to stay, how long you're staying for. You say, you know, you've got things to do, but you will be back. You promise them you will be back. You know, what was the note? You had a note for them? Was that sort?
I had a letter, yeah, and he might like just leave it for them because he's feeling a bit emotional. It's like there's almost like too much to say. But he just wanted to let them know that he was sorry, and like his original intention was to go out and like learn a bit more and just like visit some libraries and go around towns. But before he knew it, he's a bit too far away to travel back, and he's constantly being pulled by this desire to just know more, learn more. But the closer he's got to his goal of like gaining power and respect, the more he's realised that the people that are in positions to be respected are just selfish dicks. And it's since he's come in to the party, he's really realised that there are people that just don't care about themselves so much and care about the world around them. And he talks about Galandra and Valishal, how they're out to like literally change the world, and how it's sort of like sobered him a little bit, and he's wondering about his purpose now. He's wondering about what set him out on his path, and if that was truly right. They told him that his childhood is, although filled with love, was a cage.
Yeah.
No way to get out of that. So he thought he'd just have to leave, take control. But now he's sorry that he squandered it.
And so that's the letter. That's what you're leaving them in that letter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll say your goodbyes. Your mum will sort of get slightly upset that you're leaving again. You'll promise them that, you know, you'll be back and you won't leave at 20 years. You'll make sure you're back, and you'll try your best to find what was your brother? Broderick. You're going to find Broderick, or at least sort of make sure that he's okay, and let them know. And he says, I'm going to leave you this letter. Please don't open it until I've left. There's a lot I need to say, but just know that I love you, and I will return. Your mum cries a lot. Your dad sort of just takes the letter, shakes your hand, and you're gone. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Okay. So we've powered through that. I'm sorry. I kind of think we could have put a bit more into it with the chat, but obviously a lot of time left. So
no, it's pretty late on the uptake anyway, mate. So no worries. Thank you.
Okay. So. Right. So where are we gonna go from here? So we have currently Tharval and Saravel escaping the law. Barty is sort of leaving his parents' house. Where will you start making your way to? Where will you go, do you think?
I'll probably head back to that coaching in where we all arrived and just assume that people will start amassing back there when they're ready.
Yep. Brother Gadden, I'm guessing that's where you're going to go back to?
Ooh, that's a very good shout, actually, because him and Gregor are walking down the streets pondering about pondering about what Valashul has just discussed with him. I suppose he'll probably end up walking down the market, trying to find Barty, because I think at this point here they've done all the. Would Barty have done all the shopping as well with him before he ended up disappearing?
Yeah. So you would go.
Yeah.
You did your shopping first, and then you've kind of gone off to the.
And then did Barty say whether he was going to if he had his business, or did he say anything specific about his business?
I think you would.
Because I don't think we talked about it.
Well, it's up to you, Barty, if you want to say what you were going to do, or.
No, he wouldn't have. I think he just sort of like excused himself. I think he offered Gadden some cash to get his armor, but that was refused.
Yep, it was.
So he just
yeah. So in that case, he's gonna end up walking back into the market. Well, just to kind of like get the gist of Alamore. And what it's about, because it's a giant city in comparison to some of the other places that he's been to, and in particular, he's probably gonna want to know who what the major vibe is around the city. Is it just like, are they so cushy inside the big fortified city that they don't realize what's going on outside of the greater world, or are they quite like on the ball and is everybody like high alert?
That's going to be a hard one, because it is a massive city. You.
Oh, no, just from his locale, because if he's inside I imagine he's in the heart.
I think you'll have this sort of, it would sort of be equivalent to your sort of kind of your Rome or whatever, in that there is this assuredness and this sort of, they feel like they're, they're safe in this, this huge citadel, this very it's the apart from the palace in Elathlia, it's one of the best protected cities in all of Freya, and its walls have never been breached. So they're quite happy where they are. There is talk about, you sort of might hear some bits and pieces about the corruption and the soldiers who have gone off and the fight and the war, and there's some grumblings about sort of how why are we fighting for this, and then some people saying, well, obviously if we don't fight this, then they'll come to this city, and others are saying, yeah, well, this city has never fallen, and bits and pieces like that. You'll get you'll get the odd sort of tofty noble who is more interested in themselves than anything else, but it's a there's a lot of different views in the city.
Yeah. Cool. He's gonna make a point to really flaunt the fact that not only is he with the Legion, but he is also a devout cleric of Bahamut, and so the recently purchased, rather expensive and gaudy holy symbol it should probably be like just dangling off his neck, and in that way, if anybody is looking or does end up like gawking even further at the Leonin, it's gonna be like, oh shit, we don't mess with him, because of course, he's a pious man of the god himself, the god himself, Bahamut. So yeah, he'll do that, and then afterwards probably head. There wasn't any particular location that the party was told to go to, so I guess. Oh no, actually, we said we were going to go back to a inn, weren't we?
The coach house. Well, not coach house. The stables.
Yeah.
The stables.
The stable. Yeah, the stables. Yeah, and we haven't actually gone in yet, have we? So.
No, you haven't got it.
Yeah. So in that case, he'll just turn to Gregor and sort of say, recount his memories before going back and saying, well, remind me, I don't think we actually decided to get a position, sit down and reconnoiter here, that sort of thing. We just landed in the stables and decided to fuck off.
Yeah, he just says, I believe that's right, my lord. I guess we should head back at some point, unless you've got any other business in the city.
No.
He would say that. So religion-wise in Kyrelia, one of the reasons that Kyrelia and Balon had the civil war, and there was the Kyrelian civil war, and hence where Balon became a thing, was partially over religion. Kyrelia does follow Bahamut, but there's got lots of different other religions in there. So it's not fully, it's not 100%. It's a very eclectic place. It's quite a massive empire and stuff. So obviously there is followers of Bahamut, but there is followers of different gods.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, I think he just wants it to be known that he's a person of the cloth. Put it that way. Well, it seems like we all lost a little bit of sense and purpose because we came to this city. Let's just go into the coach and I'll get us settled down with a table. You don't happen to know any magic, do you? Like ascending or message?
He's got some basic spells and things like that, but I don't think he's got anything.
He just looks Gregor up and goes, you're definitely not the magician of sorts.
Yeah.
You may guess. So, but no, let's go back to the coach inn and I'll sit down and have a drink and have a look around. Hopefully, none of them have got into too much trouble, or no in particular. So he'll head over back to the coach inn and grab them a seat in the tavern.
Okay, Lance, what are you up to?
Once everything's been done with my rune and everything, I'll gather myself and take myself out into the market and see if I recognise anybody. It's been a while, so don't see anyone familiar. So I make my way back to the tavern where we began in order to see if anyone's returned there.
Saren?
Gonna go back to the coaching because I've not really got any business here, and I've done all the shopping that I want or need to. So I'm just gonna make my way back to the coaching then.
Okay. So that kind of leaves Arno and Ceravel and Tharaval. Arno, what would he do? So he's sort of invisible to himself. He's obviously realized there's a lot of commotion going on.
I think he had an inkling as to who he thought might want the cup from him.
Yeah, well,
so sort of mentioned.
I think he feels that. So what's happened in his, which you won't know, but we can sort of talk about. But he's had, like, some of his backstory is that his father was basically, they used to thieve. He was an entertainer, but him and his brother would steal from people as they entertained. And at one point in time, when he's sort of left, he's stolen a lot of money from a very rich and powerful man, who's basically said that he would get his revenge and get him. And he thinks that this is potentially the person who's out to get him. And so that's in his mind, and that's sort of ticking over in his brain at this moment in time, that he thinks that this guy's after him, and that's why he's being followed, and that's why somebody's trying to take the cup off him and things like that. So I think with that in mind, he will make his I'm just going to say he's going to make his way back just to simplify things, because I don't want him going off. So he'll sort of make his way back, obviously invisible as he is currently, and he'll sort of make his way back to the coach house. Ceravel and Tharaval, you are making your way. You're obviously stealth. I'm going to do some quick rolls, just d20s. If any crits come through, something might happen. If not, then you just make yourself You make your way back. So first one, nope. Second one, nope. Third one, nope. And final one, nope. Okay, so you you sort of weave through the streets. You use your cloak to sort of go from shadow to shadow. Your Cerevel sort of makes his way in the shadows too, and you sort of make your way back to the sort of the coach house, to the stables. As you come back, you notice, as you're sort of kind of walking past the window, you see Brother Gadden sort of sitting there with Gregor. You notice the others sort of coming in piecemeal as they go in. Are you going to join them, or are you sort of still keeping low?
I think basically for the time being, they're going to. They don't want to draw attention to the rest of the group, but they do need to sort of inform them of the situation. So I think Cerevel will basically remain in the, hidden outside and keep an eye out. Tharavel, using his Shadow Stalker cloak, he's basically sort of going to jump from shadow to shadow into the coach house, and then try and get the attention of people from the group.
You could use your disguise if you want to make it a bit more sort of.
Well, the disguise you have to. I've got. I was going to say disguise self. He's got a spell for disguise self, so we'll use that. Disguise. He's got. He actually has to spend like a week and 250 gold to create the disguise. So
right.
Yeah, that'll be something for the future. But basically, once he's made that, it's it's basically like. It's very, very difficult for people to sort of question it, and I think because they got like documents and everything. But I'll cast disguise self, and just look, so he just sort of looks like a regular Joe, just sort of in and around, but he still sounds like he does.
So you sort of cast disguise self on yourself. Everybody else is sort of sitting down, having a few drinks and stuff, and then you sort of make your way over to the table and sort of sit down, sort of a bit forgetful to yourself that you're not thinking that you've just disguised yourself, and then the rest see this random person just sitting down beside them all.
Just looks at the person. So I take it Sarah and Lance have now joined.
Yeah, we'll just say everybody's there now to sort of keep it simple.
Okay, cool. He just looks at. So he'll look at the individual first. Insight check if I can to discern if I recognize the mannerisms of Tharavel.
Yep.
Or if he was familiar. So give me a second. Just gonna see if I can find my character sheet again because it's gotten fucking flusted off. Come on, there we go. Jesus Christ. Today is a clunky day for Roll20.
Lance doesn't see anything.
Okay, so insight. Good luck to me, because insight is what did I say nature for? Sorry, 1 second. Insight, can't find it. There it is. Yep.
The person in front of you, you're just completely you're very much Saren, you're just like who the fuck is this guy? What's he doing? He's just like, why are you sitting here? Looking very odd. Brother Gadden, you sort of see this person coming over and you sort of cock your head slightly and go, something familiar about this person.
And then this is just purely off the basis of logic. So everybody else is there, including Arno. So it can only mean that it's Tharavel. So as soon as Tharavel sits down, he's already at this point retcon's sake, I'll throw the money out there. He's already ordered drinks for everything. He just pushes the beer over to the other side of the table and he says, "Could you mind, like, next time making sure you let us know that you're actually in a get-up rather than just, like, scaring the big Jesus out, like, the big behemoth out of us?" And then just, like, puts the beer over there and just, like, then gives it, like, massages his head as if, like, to say this is, like, this is, like, he's almost, like, had a heart attack and nearly jumped in, grabbed a mace and just swatted him.
Tharavel sort of he sort of picks up the beer and then sort of looks at himself and then realizes, oh, apologies, friends. I forgot what I was at. There's quite a lot has happened. We tried to stay out of trouble, but we still found it. And I think
and give the impression of raising an eyebrow and just say, "What did you do now?"
What happened?
I think we're wanted for murder.
Saren buries her head in her hands like that. Oh no! For God's sake!
And he's sort of he's sort of he's sort of looking about just in case anybody's sort of paying attention and sort of whispering. He's like, I promise it wasn't. We didn't do it. It wasn't our fault. And he sort of he looks at it. I was like, Arno saw. We were trying to warn him. Arno saw.
Arno sort of says, "This is very concerning," and he says, "You tried to warn me. What was it you said to him in the pub?"
He said that there are people after him and his cup, dangerous people, and he needs to leave quickly.
I know Arno, Conrad plays Arno very sort of close to his chest and stuff, but I'm going to say he sort of relents and lets you sort of, after a bit of sort of question, he says he thinks it's this noble that he stole from, and that he thinks that he's after him, and that might be why. Who the person is who killed the other halfling, and who the person is who effectively framed you for the murder, he doesn't know.
So at this point, Gadden just looks at the cup. Is it out there now? Is it like?
Yeah, we'll say because he's not.
He
Conrad wasn't taking the hint about the cup sort of being important, so he sort of you maybe ask him about the cup, and he.
Oh, okay.
That being said, he did say to me, let's see what he got his message, just so I don't want to go against his wishes.
But did Tharavel say something about a cup?
Oh, so basically, Tharavel knows about based on what Queen Alicia has told him. So basically, Tharavel he leans in and he's like, okay, keep this quiet, and he's sort of very edgy, very on edge, and sort of having a look about. And he sort of whispers and tells what happened. So he's, they went to the 5-finger discount. He's speaking to Queen Alicia. And she asked him to bend the knee and join her, but they were afraid as to what that might have meant. Don't get me wrong, she was very attractive, but
Darren looks over and is like,
but yeah, I thought with the small head for instead. So he basically he sort of says that he gave him the task of retrieving a cup from a small gentleman, and whenever he asked her more as to what it did, and then basically he tells them, what was it actually? I think it's in the chat, wasn't it?
He says it's from the she sort of mentions that it is a Dreamwalker artifact, that obviously you can't get any of these items outside of the Somnian Enclave. Those who have tried to go there to steal things have never returned, and so it's very it's something that she wants, she covets, and she said, obviously, if you can bring it back. She's also sort of mentioned that, you know, on that sort of imp, you can bring him back, dead or alive, as well.
Okay, so it's one. The cup has been explicitly discussed. Two, it has been said to the party that it is a Somnian Enclave relic. Third, somebody died over it. He looks at Tharaval and Arno with sheer disgust, and then just goes, "We've only just left the Enclave, and now we are potentially having to go back because somebody couldn't keep their nose out of it." Fine.
No, the artifact is something
So-
he was given by Dyrelia, by the way.
Oh, wait, so somebody stole it from them and we're taking it back.
No. So, when they left the Somnian Enclave, she gave him
the cup,
she gave him a cup as a sort of like as a gift. So it's not like it was stolen. It's just that.
Okay.
Yeah.
They
Good.
covet the cup.
They want it
Okay.
because it's something.
So
that's
they get me. They want the cup. Why did you show a cup from the Enclave for? One, two.
Arno gets slightly frustrated with you. Saying, "I didn't show it to them. Fell out of my pack, and they saw it. Somebody saw it. That stupid shop owner, that rude shop owner, tried to buy it from me. I didn't know that he was going to send some thugs after me, but you know, he then says, but there's more to this than that. You know, this other halfling who's died. This is down to that that noble. I'm not sure what he's called him, but that noble who I stole from. I know it. I know this is something to do with this. It's something that's linked to my brother."
Okay.
Tharaval also sort of says an interesting thing about what happened before the man who framed us, and he sort of turns to Barty and describes that he used some sort of mind wizardry to that basically gave us a very sharp pain in our brains and sort of had incapacitated us, and he was eating nuts whenever he did this, and he sort of asks, is there any spells or anything that he maybe recognizes or knows?
Roll me Arcana.
Can I help?
Arcana.
Can I assist Barty with this as well?
Yes.
I have a +6 mod. Yeah, what does it say?
So it sounds like a spell of confusion, which uses sort of walnut shells as a component, and it can incapacitate you. It can make you do things you don't want to do. It can sort of send you places, or it can freeze you to the spot. And it seems like that's what's happened to you.
Okay. So, two things. One, not getting the fucking cup. It's ours. Secondly, whoever it is, if they're coming after us, coming after Arno's specifically, we are going to have to expect company every step of the way wherever we are whilst we are in Kyrelia. I don't think they're going to follow us. You know, let's just basically sleep with our weapons underneath our pillow for now. And we're all going to take...
It's fine.
Warforged company aside.
Yeah.
Warforged company aside. The metaphor says the same. We should be vigilant.
Aaron pulls out.
Stand out.
That's
We
fine. That is not a big deal.
It can be should we need to leave in a hurry.
You all have cloaks of displacement. I'll just burn the whole place down if I have to.
And what am I supposed to do, brother?
I don't
Don't
know.
die. Don't.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, even then, you know, just the point here is that we've attracted more attention than we should have done in the first place. We came here to get knowledge, figure out what our next place is before we ended up going to the Order of the Waning Moon. Unfortunately, this is not the case. So, I mean, I'm here. Here's the other thing. I came here looking for Legion help. No Legion help because too busy fighting Galbarath. But they did tell me something. There is a way to turn Kiamat against the rest of the army. Basically, let him loose, go crazy. I'll talk about it later on, but
I growl.
there's
under
nothing.
my breath.
Saren
There's
pulls
no.
the dagger from its holster and sort of like starts expecting it for any kinks and what have you, just to be ready. She's not
Yeah.
happy about this turn of events.
So that means that we are in our time here is now very limited. If we stay here, we risk getting more and more danger pulled to us. And if there's anything else that we do need to be here whilst we're here, we need to be quick. I don't think we should linger for more than a day.
I turn to Tharivel again and say, "Do you have any other business with your new girlfriend that you need to take care of?"
He sort of stops looking about so much, and he says, "On the upside, if we do bring her the cup, we get 50% off any wares in the future."
No.
Arno
no.
looks at you with absolute rage and says, "Piss off, Tharivel. It's my."
I look at Tharivel and go, "Will you stop thinking with down there?"
No. Just no. You have to think about it this way. It's a relic of the Somnian Enclave. She is susceptible to any level of corruption. We are not so much. So if it falls into our hands, the risk of that corruption happening again to the Enclave is massive. So no.
Judging by what's going on here, I'd say she is the corruption.
Well,
I
he's
think
You could have
corrupting
corrupted me.
somebody. Like I was about to say, terrible. You
point?
definitely.
See my point?
He's already corrupted in a sense of a different kind of
Jamili saw
nature.
Tharivel's.
I'm just sat here like that, going, "See? Do you see?"
So yeah. So in that case, if we have no more business, I say we can cut our trip short in Alamore and get out of this place, and not attract too much attention. Now, that's what I think. Because I'm done with business here. There's nothing here for me.
So,
I will just require some rest. I need to sleep before we can teleport to us again.
are you?
Oh,
So,
of
what's
course.
your plan? Like, I'm not 100% sure what Arno would be doing at this moment in time, because he's obviously in his mind currently he's got somebody who he thinks is after him. He's pretty sure he knows who it is, or at least who sent that person. He is very much trying to find his brother at this moment in time. Obviously, Tharivel and Saravel are kind of wanted for murder in the city. Are you going
Find
to
somewhere
leave
we
and
can
go?
lay
Are you
low.
going to just ditch this and sort of go off to deal with Kiamat Red Scale? Are you going to try and settle this, or well, those are your two options, I guess. Try and find out what's happening, or carry on with the main
Well,
quest line, I guess.
we can't do anything at the moment until Barty is rested anyway.
Yeah,
Maybe
was
we'll move onwards. So
there another city that you guys wanted to go to as well, or was it just Alamore that you wanted to drop in by?
Just Alamore.
Okay.
I think there was talk about sort of Underdark and things like that.
Oh wait, yeah. So Alamore was supposed to be an area where we could glean more knowledge from. Unfortunately, we glean more trouble than knowledge. So the next step is to go to the Order of the Waning Moon, and then either make a decision as to whether we're gonna go and teleport over to the Dragon Tower, or if we're gonna go through the Underdark to get to Jorathrasta. So those are the two options.
Was there anything you were going to try and information you were trying to glean from any libraries or anything about the information? Was there anything you were trying to gain any knowledge or anything?
That's probably okay. Look, Gadden will then gone.
didn't Barty get some information that he could use to?
We've got that
Oh.
from the Enclave. We've got the
So you've
We got the
the
glyphs.
sigil sequence for the Dragon Tower, so we can teleport there with 100% accuracy. We just need to be armed to the teeth and ready for a fight, because it'll be well corrupted, won't it?
So, if we take it back from where we left off with the conversation, Gadden will then say, "So if we don't have any business to do and Barty needs to rest, then we
Let's
need to
take some
rest up
rooms
here."
on. Yeah.
If,
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we
can
got the largest room, I could erect a tiny hut inside and keep us, guarantee our safety for the next 8 hours.
rest.
Sounds like a
And,
plan.
And there was me thinking I would cast Temple of the Gods for shits and giggles inside that room. Uh,
Well,
God.
After you.
No, I'm kidding. Don't
How-
worry. It's 120 feet. The only time I'll ever erect a Temple of the Gods there is if we are fucked. So just saying.
as you're sort of kind of talking about these things, I think Arno, he sort of, as in his emo-ish way, takes the cup, and then sort of vanishes into his own ring. So sort of he goes back into his ring and it drops on the table. He says, "I need to think," and he sort of goes into his ring.
I reach over and grab the ring and put it in one of the outside pockets on my back.
It just look,
with the flap loose.
and then he just looks at Lance and says, "I was about to do the same thing, but no, you do it, and keep him out of trouble, because the last thing we need is another factor to consider."
Well, I just work on the assumption that I'm not going to be sleeping, so he can't sneak off if he decides to emerge.
Beautiful. I like that.
He has an impulsive nature, which can be trying.
Of course, I was just thinking impulsive natures and stuff. Okay, so let me sort it out in terms of getting this room sorted out. Barty, my only other thought is if perhaps we should pay a visit to one of the great libraries here in Alamore and see if we can glean anything else from any. Let's see if we can get any recent intelligence of what's going on in Jorathrasta. There's two ways. I thought that actually a library might be a good shout, but it's not going to be the case. It's probably more of a military report. So, I mean, I'm not going to waste a scrying spell on this.
Well, let's get the rest in, revisit it in the morning, and decide what we need to do before we leave. I think that.
I don't know about
everyone's
you. I'd rather leave in the morning. Like,
Well-
boom, out.
Some things are probably going to be better when we're rested. For example, Barty will undoubtedly be more clear-headed, and possibly you, once we've rested.
What time of day is it currently?
You've done a fair bit and stuff. I think you got there in the morning. I'd say it's late afternoon, maybe early evening.
Okay.
So
Take a month later.
we eat and rest, reattack in the morning, and see what seems like a good idea. It also gives everyone a chance to rest and process what we've learnt today, so that we'll have a fresh perspective on it tomorrow.
Fine.
I'm agreeable with that.
Sarah, do you want anything? He just says as before he gets up and goes to the bar.
Something strong.
Arval, roll me perception.
Here we go.
Okay, yep.
That's a relief. I was going to joke about a critical fail.
Can I do
With a
one
12?
for Saravel as well if he was outside?
Yep, okay.
Yeah, you've jinxed it.
Yeah.
Hi!
Boy.
He just comes through the door, clatters through the door, grabs you and go, "Let's go," and sort of grabs you and trails you off.
Whoa! Where the hell do you think you're going?
Oh, fuck.
And he says,
going on?
The city watch is nearly upon us." He says, "The city watch is nearly upon us, brother. We need to go."
We've got to hide them and fast.
That's not going to help right now.
The
This would
accessories.
be a good chance. This would be helpful if Arno hadn't disappeared, because obviously he could have taken you there.
Stairs quickly.
Yes.
Create a hut.
Upstairs very quickly.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna be the distraction. So he just stays at the bar.
Okay.
I
So,
position myself
Bring
at the
me a
bottom of the
drink.
stairs.
so you sort of charge your way up upstairs quickly. Nobody's really paying much attention. Weird things happen in these places all the time. So there's no real sort of a squad of sort of city watch sort of kind of come in and start looking around. They've got somebody with them and they're asking to point out this person or not. And they start going around looking at different people, asking them questions. They come up to you, Brother Gaddon, and go, excuse me, brother. You haven't seen two shifty-looking elves, have you?
That's a pointed remark. There's plenty of elves here, but no, I haven't seen any recently. No.
Roll me deception.
Deception. Let's see how good I am with that. Pray for me. It's not that great.
Pray for Mojo.
It's 12.
They sort of go, funny that. We've been told there's been two elves hanging around with a Leonin. Is it Leonin or Leonid?
Leonin.
Leonin. And there's not many of you chaps around. So it seems that you might know a little bit more than you're letting on. Let's have a seat and have a chat, shall we?
I smell a hanging.
Sure, no problem. I'm happy to take a seat. Just be aware of the fact that I'm a nice guy, and he just gets and he says, "Barkeep, can I have 2 of these, please?" And just points at the thing. One for me and one for my friend here, who we're gonna have a long conversation about. Elves.
So they sit down. The other guards are sort of walking around. He says, "So these elves seems that they've murdered a poor halfling, and they've been seen with you." Leaving this very establishment. What do you have to say for yourself?
I'll be honest. And just leans in. I kind of like it with elves. You know. The sex is quite good.
They sort of look at you oddly. Roll me deception again.
With a lie, though?
Is it?
This-
Is it a lie?
yeah,
Well,
that's fine. don't worry.
I'm not sure because he's a Leonin. I'm not sure if he sort of, maybe, I guess so. But yeah, they sort of look at you and just like, yeah. And he says, "All right, you like a bit of elf flesh, but you know," he says, "so you know where they are then."
I know many. Like, I met quite a few elves this day, so I can tell you where every one of them went. There's about 14 of them.
The one of the guards looks amused. The other one looks absolutely disgusted. And he's
He's stalling. He doesn't have any intention to actually like do anything, like win or do anything. He's just stalling for time.
Yeah. He says, another guard comes out and says, "They're not here, sir. Can't find them. Nobody's seen them." The guards sort of kind of look at you and go, "I've got my eye on you, lion man. We'll be back, and we'll be keeping an eye on everything you do." Everything.
I charge 10 gold. I charge 10 gold an hour, you know. And he just winks at the man.
And he says, and the other one says, "But he's a bloody monk. I didn't think they were allowed to do that."
It's a fine city with multiple faiths. Not all faiths are and he just makes a gesture to say that, like, you know, restricted.
He sort of kind of shrugs his shoulder. He says, "We're keeping an eye on you, boy." And they walk out.
And he just says, "Bye-bye!" Just really obnoxiously and very loudly.
Yep. Okay. So that's that. You sort of make your way upstairs with the rest of them.
So he'll gently knock and he'll just say, honey, I'm home. Just very obnoxiously again.
I roll my eyes and look through the keyhole, and I can see it's him. So I slowly open the door. I'm going to murder you in your sleep if you do that one more time.
Listen, it did the trick, okay? Obnoxious as it is, it's very hard for people to deflect somebody who's actually that brazenly confident. And I have no qualms about lying about my sexuality.
I was
Meanwhile-
seconds from coming downstairs to aid you, and I do not want to have walked in on that.
Exactly. Imagine that. You would have been like sitting down next to me and they would have been like, so is this one of your mistresses? Oh, no. No.
I have shown
it's-
enough flesh today to get what I need. I'm not doing it again.
I'm sure they have. So, chaps, we have bought a bit of time, but it goes without saying. Now I think the escalation of us getting the fuck out of here is a lot more serious. If they end up erecting a anti-magic barrier, we're fucked. So we need to be deciding whether we can do this or not. And if we are, we can't utilize Barty because he's tired, and we don't want to tax him in a situation like this. So we're gonna have to get out of the city somehow.
I loom behind you and say, well, there's plenty of options, I suppose. The problem is, how much blood are we willing to shed?
He just looks at his mace, the Lightbringer, and he says, and then just turns around and looks at Lance and says, preferably not bloodshed that is innocent as well. The guards will try and stop us, will be implicated in it. The last thing we want is to be doing an unjust situation. So, no bloodshed, please.
Darren puts her dagger back disappointedly.
The guard are not at fault, they're just doing their job.
Arno can
yeah.
hear us. Can't we just ask him to come back and slip more into his ring? Who's- he can fit several in there at one time.
He's gonna squeeze some elves into his ring.
Well, yeah, only the other week, me and Lance sat in there comfortably.
And you guys are bigger than elves.
He's well versed at fitting many men in his ring.
Multiple techniques simultaneously, huh?
And then you look at the Leonin and just think, oh, he's saying rude things.
Flexible.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what it. Like I said, I
But
guess...
no, hang on. He can only go in there once every 24 hours. So if he comes back
With
out
it?
again,
Oh,
he can't go
okay.
back in for
Yeah.
another 24
I know,
hours.
I know he knows what's going on outside.
Yeah, so he knows what's going on.
But I don't know
He's
how
probably
close.
faffing around and being sort of very being a bit of a curmudgeon about it all, and sort of
He's listening to My Chemical Romance.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Third Instance.
Okay. Not okay. So he'll just say, Arno, don't get out of that ring. Just loudly. Don't get out. And then just looks at the two, looks at Cyril and Tharwell and is like, okay, so we're sneaking you out.
I don't know how we're going to do that, considering you.
Prostitutes.
I point-
You have to look like whores.
Tharavel and Ceravel sort of, they look at each other and then look at the rest of the group and go, I'd sort of like chuckle. They're like, we can take care of ourselves. Use on the other hand as party to us, our main concern.
And then don't worry about us. In that case, we sleep, we stay here in our comfort zone. You get out quickly before it causes too much of a scene. We'll rendezvous outside the city. Make sure that we're within fair distance. What's the nearest town that we can possibly rendezvous without having to get ourselves fucking caught?
Okay, so I'll have to get World Anvil. I don't think I've got names in the one in
No,
Roll
of
20,
course.
but I'll World Anvil. Through the looking glass here, people. You're watching. Okay, so we want. Oh, that's maps. No, New World. Okay, so Freya town name. So what do we got close by? We have a small village called Enkmere, to the south. We also have, in the north, a village called Oxhand. And then you've got Lightwater, which is sort of to the west near the Dawn Fort.
Go south.
You've got
Kirkwall. Ooh, Kirkwall.
Yeah, Kirkwall, yeah. So we can go there, or there, I guess, or Edam, or Timberdale.
Endon's probably. We need to get as close to the enclave of the Order of the Waning Moon.
Oh no! So the way you want to go to, so if you're going down to where the to Jor Ithrasta is, you'll need to be going to Belmore, which is
get there. But
there. So you need to go
the nearest.
The Order of the Morning Star.
Is in Bel.
Order of the Morning Star, and their town. So Whitewood would
Yep.
be sort of somewhere in Whitewood.
So it looks like it'll be Kirkwall, Whitewood.
Which will take you. Are you leaving? Obviously, to get out of Alamore. Oh, where are we going? Cloak of the Kind. If you're going out of Alamore, you need to go through some a lot of walls and things. Then you're going.
And is it southwest, or do we go? Can we go south for the waterfalls?
You could probably there. Because it's sort of a shared. One of its defenses is obviously the cliffs and stuff. So you'd need to go via the roads, or you would have to climb down the cliffside, the sheer cliffside. So it's either a case of leaving the city and going through the eastern gate to Enkmere, then to Kirkwall. Then the Star Shield, then to Whitewoods.
Nah, that's too much. We'll just sleep and then we'll wake up, and then once Barty's all fresh and juicy, then he can just go, and we go to Kirkwall.
Love being juicy. We could make like an oversized barrel or some shit, and then just hide him in that.
They can get out.
Tharavel can basically just jump into somebody's shadow. Ceravel, like he's stealthier than Tharavel, and he's also got Misty Step, which he can use to sort of like jump between places and stuff. So
nice.
Well, Tharavel jumps into Gadden's shadow, because obviously Gadden or Lance being the bigger two out of us.
Lance is bigger than Gadden.
Seems we've got a
raid. It doesn't really matter.
Raid. Nice one, guys.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a raid.
It's a raid. Nice one, guys. Check out the Discord for things and yeah. Anyway, so what's the plan? What are people doing? So are you sleeping now? We're not leaving straight away.
No,
I don't think can leave straight away.
Rest and recharge.
What sort of time are we saying it is now? Because basically, if we have a long rest of like 8 hours, it may still be dark. Probably better leaving under the cover of darkness than.
Yeah,
well, for you guys, it's better for you to leave under the cover of darkness. We're perfectly fine. We're not the ones wanted. So.
Plus, with
but you are under suspicion.
Right.
Oh yeah, but me under suspicion. If they see for 24 hours, if I'm not surrounded by any other elves other than Seren, it's all good.
You don't even know I exist yet.
Exactly. So they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, look, he was hanging around with 2 boy elves, and I've got a girl elf with me." Da-da. And said, "Ha, you missed out on the show. Next time around, pay 5 gold for your OnlyFans subscription."
He's going to replace his mace with a cane and get himself a pimp hat.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I've already got part of it because I've got a giant holy symbol there. That's my chain ready to go.
We have you chain already. You're fine.
If worst comes to worst, I'll just tap him on the head, right, Tharavel?
Well, you're talking about if we sleep?
No, I'm saying if they get suspicious and they start hassling us.
Oh yeah,
I'll tap the guards
decapitate
on the
them.
head. It's
Well.
not true. I did not decapitate the first guy I tapped on the head. I just knocked him out.
Goodness me.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
you're sleeping. Tharval and Ceravel are just going to hide.
Get out.
I guess.
I know.
Well, they basically they're going to take it in turns of to sort of keep watch. I think basically Tharavel can just step into a shadow and have a rest while he's in the shadow.
You got to bear in mind, obviously, with the way that the night, the day cycle, obviously the shadow will move, so you've got to be aware.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
But it doesn't say anything about the shadow moving. So basically, if I'm in a shadow, you become part of that shadow. So like shadow stalk as an action, while you within 5 feet of another creature, you can step into that creature's shadow and remain there. While in the creature's shadow, you occupy the same space as the creature. So
Yeah,
it's basically you just become their shadow.
I know, but if shadows move, so if you're not in their shadow, then you're not sort of, as in there, it moves around.
That's what I mean. So if they're moving about, you basically become their shadow.
So you're moving with the shadow.
You're moving with you're part of the
I know,
shadow.
but I'm saying if you're moving with them, that's fine. But if you're asleep, you're not in the shadow because it's moving.
Okay.
so the reason, so we're saying go to Kirkwall, meet them there, but Tharavel and Ceravel need to get there. They can't be with us, otherwise they risk the group. So they need to go ahead before we
Yes.
do, because we are going to teleport there.
Why don't
they-
you just like?
Well,
get
if you
them to the bed
if you
or
teleport there, then you're gonna have to you want to teleport
something?
to
Rest again.
you have to rest again. So
Oh,
wait,
okay,
so
yeah.
it's gonna right, okay. It's gonna
If we
it's gonna
we don't want to push them through the gates or anything, do we?
it's going
No.
to nice map. Thank you very much. Designed it myself. You're gonna have so you're going.
Actually, we don't need. Well, I mean, if we plan on taking them there, and rather than actually rendezvousing with them outside, then in that case, we just need to outlast the guards enough for Barty to have rested. Then we teleport over, and this time around, we don't. We should be definitely teleporting out of Kyrelia and into Belmore.
Yeah, because to get down there. You're looking a couple of days.
See, so this is because like I was under the impression like, hey, don't worry about us. We'll figure a way to get out of the city, and I was like, okay, we're sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be because it's it's a massive city. Two, to get out of the gates and then round and then down south. You're looking,
Yeah, let's
you're
not
looking
work
2 or
it.
3 days anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that case, just the Tharavel and Ceravel just need to not kill anybody for the next 8 to 12 hours.
We didn't kill anybody.
Yeah. Well, be caught on the well, either didn't kill anybody, don't kill anybody, or don't be
Under
accused.
suspicion of killing anybody.
Exactly.
we do have a way to get out of the city from the chat. The names are very dark blue, so I can't see what it says. You need a way out.
and we're
Did
lost.
somebody say sewers? Take the smelly.
Underdark.
Well, actually, does Barty know if there's an Underdark route here? Because I don't think that I wouldn't assume that a city of that
No, Ceravel and
magnitude would-
Tharavel would probably obviously depends on how much they trust Alicia. Well, it's not Alicia. What was her the queen?
Yeah,
Queen
Alicia, yeah.
Alicia, because she's not trustworthy, but you're not. She likes him, so I'm not sure if you're. Depends on your.
Oh,
sort of,
he likes him.
and sort of.
Well, what's she got to do with the Underdark, though?
No, I'm just
She might
saying.
know a way out of the city.
Getting you out of the city, but it really depends on sort of. She's after the cup, but is she anything to do with the framing of the murder? So that's maybe something you can think about.
Yeah, no, this is a piece of piss. We just need 8 hours to get the spell
Yep.
back. That's the
Yep. Pretty much.
goal.
Yeah.
But we've got the
Just
tiny
regret
hut, so we could just. It doesn't matter what the guards want to do. They're not going to bash through the hut. Let's bring a wizard in.
Right.
In
Well, I
that-
say we rest for the time being, and if it's still dark,
Mm. And then you two need to make sure you're in good disguises. I mean, this one here is okay. Do another one. Rotate disguises so it doesn't look too obvious. We'll sleep, except for Lance. You don't sleep.
I'll stand outside and keep an eye on things.
Been a bad boy.
Yeah. So
Okay,
yeah, we'll do
so
that.
everybody's kind of sleeping. If they're sleeping, Tharaval and Ceravel are taking turns to stay, obviously keep watch. I'm
Fair enough.
guessing Ceravel's going to have to roll some stealth rolls now and again to sort of keep himself
Yep.
hidden. I know you're going to be in the shadows, but you're going to have to keep yourself sort of
The shadows.
What's the inn made out of, Gary?
wood and wood and mud and
Wooden happiness.
Fireball.
Stone,
That's
not a stone
terrible.
tavern, you
Fireball, fireball.
Not fireballing the inn, damn it.
Hey,
Ooh.
look,
It's been a while
Well,
since
last
we've burnt down a building.
yeah.
Yeah, listen, did you say
I mean, it would be a
fireball?
good distraction, but
Are
probably
you
not advisable.
Are we sleeping? Are we doing something else? What's the
Yeah, I'll sleep. I was gonna
Yes,
think if it was made of stone, I could wall of stone them in, like put a false wall up, a few feet away from the actual wall and hide them there. No, suffocate. This is probably a bad idea. I'll go
okay.
to
It's not that posh an inn.
No, it's just a wooden mud sort of like
Wooden wattle.
drag of a
grandest city in the land.
yeah, it is the grandest city in the land, but it does have
A waffle and dog
shitholes, which okay, so
As any city does.
Ceravel, roll some stealth rolls for me. So give me 3.
Beautiful.
Fucking hell.
Nice. And
Disgusting.
just give me 1 for you because obviously you're gonna have to move from your shadow.
Not as stealthy, but there we go.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll again just straight d20s. Any crits and stuff up, and otherwise you're fine. We'll just roll for them. No 20s. Yep. No. You are not discovered. Nothing happens.
Pretty sure one of them tripped over their own shoelaces.
Yeah, one of them sort of.
Fell up the
One of them
stairs.
goes, "Who's that? Somebody's prowling round here."
Round here. For the king.
For the king. Somebody's prowling round here.
You watched that one with the motion activated guards?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard
So when he
voice
sneaks up behind
activated.
and he stabs each one of them like one by
Oh, no,
one.
it's
That's
the
a
one with
different
the
one?
assassin.
No,
Yeah.
he's one
Yeah.
with an assassin sort of coming in, and the
bar
barkeep.
keeps saying, "Look,
Oh yeah,
He's
yeah.
over
The
there.
barkeep's like, look at him, he's over there. He's like, he's going out the window. He's like, no, I'm not.
What's that noise there? Well, the king. Right. Okay. So yeah, you're not discovered. You do notice that there are guards sort of sitting outside the tavern. You also are pretty sure you saw the hooded man sort of skulking around the perimeter of the inn itself.
Tharavel looks at Barty and asks him, is there any way he can cast nut allergy on that guy?
That's a lot of nuts.
I'm pretty sure I was talking with Gadon, the head of the guards, has got that allergy.
Wee.
Oh god.
What you
He
got
won't
tonight?
be squeezing into Arno's
on.
ring.
Oh,
Hey, it
man.
was. Hey, it started off with Arno's ring and it went downhill from there.
I think it was already rolling downhill at that point.
I'd try and crowbar another innuendo into it, but I'm spent.
Innuendo.
Hey.
Okay, so yeah, you wake up. There you can hear a bit of commotion. You know that there are people outside. They're waiting for you to leave. Pretty much.
I'm just gonna do a long rest. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. There is an option.
Ooh, can I do my portent rolls now? It's a new morning.
Yes, you can. So you're the next morning. Yes, there will be no sort of getting up for breakfast and having.
Oh well, that didn't work. Did it slash R?
/R, yeah.
No, again. Little boy. 18, 17, and 20.
What's that do?
Well, hey.
Save that. So, my portent ability, I can swap out the role of myself or any creature that I can see with their role with one of these ones.
Nice. Good rules.
I get to re-roll them every day. So
Dirty.
make a record. Yeah, at the start, every morning I get to roll them again.
I'm assuming there's a window in our room.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so Darval is basically going to hop into the shadow of Lance or Gadden. Serval, so he's going to use Misty Step. He's going to look out the window and basically he can teleport 30 feet. So he's going to basically teleport into a sort of dark area that's outside, away from people. Daybreaker.
I seem to remember there's something about the.
Oh yeah, there's a light. You've got a.
I can choose because I'm an attuned user. I can choose one of the benefits, and I keep forgetting to.
I thought you just wanted to attack something.
So you can have a preferred enemy, or you can have a radiant light.
Or I can roll a
Both.
D6, try for both.
Go for both.
But that's a risk. But I'm going to give it a chance just because it's worth a go.
Let's just don't roll a 1.
See the amount of times but maths is like, just don't roll a 1. It always happens. Playing Blood Bowl, he's just don't roll a 1. You're like, oh, this is when it happens.
And-
I'm just hitting people with my staff or the axe without the +1s and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So there you go. So what's the score now? Are we teleporting out of this place?
Yep.
We gotta get out of this.
We're going to Whiterun.
Are
We're
you
going to find the
Oh,
thing.
are we all teleporting together then, or straight
Yes.
away? Oh, okay, right. Well, then Serval doesn't need to Misty Step out of anywhere.
Okay. Are you? So are you going? You're not going to Jorathrasti or not Jorathrasti? You're not going to the Dragon Tower. You're going to one of the
Yeah,
villages.
Not yet. Yeah, we're going to go to one of the villages. Well, that's it because what's it? Lance still wants to go meet with the Order of the Waning Moon.
Yeah.
Order of the Morning
So,
Star. Yeah.
Morning Star. Sorry.
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was Waning Moon. Okay. Cool.
Waning Moon's the northern one. Morning
Okay.
Star's the southern one. Okay, Barty, you are of this area, but if you're going to Kirkwall, I need you to roll me a history check to see if you sort of remember it, if you're going to be teleporting there. So, okay, yeah.
Are we going to Whitewood?
Or Whitewood, sorry. Okay, where's Whitewood?
That's in Belmore.
Oh yeah, Whitewood. You won't know Belmore then, because you're not, and it's not correct. So,
I can describe it. Me and
okay, I'm gonna say at disadvantage because you're not you sort of read about it, so you kind of know about it. So, what is your options for your teleporting there?
So it's more of like the amount of risk associated. So we've got a permanent circle, which is 100% chance. So if I've got an object associated with the area, it's 0 to 100. It's really good as well. Seen casually starts to get a bit shitter. Viewed once, a description, and then false destination.
So it's going to be description then, isn't it?
well, no. In theory, if it's an item associated with the area, then could that not come from me or Eldereth? If we're going in the direction.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you would possibly have gone through Whitewood at one point in time in your way to
Going to the chat.
Yeah.
Balon. So, what sort of item would you have from Whitewood?
So I don't have anything on me, but I turned to Eldereth and Eldarith opens her pack, goes through, and pulls out an embroidered pouch that she keeps some items in that she purchased from a merchant there.
That's very convenient. It's very convenient, Eldrith, that you so happen to have that specific item for a specific place that you need to go. I want her to roll me an investigation. I'll give it to you there. If she rolls high enough in the investigation, you can have it. If not, then she doesn't.
Just opening a sheet. Of all the things she asked her to roll.
Oh, way.
Oh man, that disadvantage would have been good. That would have been hilarious, but okay. She picks out a piece of like, yeah, this is definitely from Whitewood as you end up on the other side of the map. Yeah, this is over here.
That's exactly what would happen.
You end up in Oos or something in the north, but yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, so she goes through and she sort of picks out the embroidered the patch and sort of hands it to Barty.
Ouch.
The pouch, yeah, the pouch. And hands it to Barty.
Ouch.
Okay. I can focus on this. Feeling good, guys.
Okay.
Everyone within 10 feet. Hold hands and say the magic words. Barty, you're amazing.
Barty, you're tolerable.
Barty,
I'll
you're
take it.
Barty, you're full of yourself.
Barty, you're the dog's bollocks.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, and
Yes.
yeah. And we'll make it.
Nice. Okay. Oosh. All right. So, you sort of make your way. You appear in the. I guess it's going to be in relation to where that pouch comes from. So, you sort of kind of land in the sort of. You know, it's still quite early, so that it's a market district of the town, and you sort of kind of clatter into some of the sort of the market stalls that are there. You hear some dogs barking and things, but nobody really pays any notice to your appearance within the town itself.
Considering how this session's going, I really thought that was going to end up with us appearing in someone's bedroom or something.
You arrive in drawer faster.
Fucking-
No, we arrive in Queen Alicia's bedroom, and they'll be like, "Did you order some Tharival?"
I have a gift for you.
I have a gift.
Here's one with-
Yeah.
here's one with
Oh,
berries.
see,
Daravel's tied up with an apple in his mouth.
Yeah, God.
In an embroidered pouch.
your embroidered pouch in the ring.
Just the embroidered pouch. Fucking hell. Oh God, the debauchery. I'm so
Jesus.
sorry.
Where's the
You're
song?
not.
See, when we were doing that bit in downtime, again, if you're watching this and you check the description of the video, there's the Discord chat. You can check out all the downtime chit chat when you're there. But I was thinking we should play this music, the Aces High music.
Wait, the soundboard happened, or on? Does it come through on the stream as well? Because this is fucking hilarious. Is it soundboard?
What?
Is this a soundboard that Discord has?
No, this
Or is
is
it-
just some music I had for the thing, which I like to put on all the time because
Brilliant.
I'm not very
Brilliant.
funny. All right.
Brilliant.
So, probably leave it there. To be fair, because I think Conrad will be very upset if we go on too far without him and stuff. So,
Let me just tell him that he needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
yeah, we'll leave that. Arno, it's very important. You got a decent wisdom save. Oh my God, something really bad
Needs you to
happened.
make a wisdom save, please.
Yeah, you need to make this. It's
Right.
really important that you make this wisdom save right now.
You know, it's like he gets all up in his ring about it.
Okay, so we'll leave it there with you in that city. The idea. So, are you going to have any downtime within the city, or are we literally just going to move? Are we going to?
No, it wasn't.
Well,
Are we
are
going
we
to?
going to need that?
So,
Party's
are we
gonna
going to
need
do
to
anything where
resolve.
we need to chit chat within the Discord, or are we literally just going to move on from this point next week?
Oh, I just realized I probably need to go buy some more components because there's a couple of the spells that I need. So yeah, I will.
We'll do downtime in the village before we
Really?
move on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Town or whatever.
definitely downtime in the
Good.
village.
Good.
Yeah.
More time to get in trouble.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Go kill somebody else.
So this time I know where Gadden's
roll-
going with.
I roll you to sit in one spot.
Yeah.
No more murder. No, more.
No. And so Gadden has manacles.
there you go.
Just-
Discord.
Yeah.
If anybody's checking out, it's in the the section's called Telos, or the Legend of Our Sacrifice D&D campaign, and you're looking for the Telos campaign RP. If you want to watch what people have been saying in their downtime, please do join. Otherwise, we'll leave it there. Conrad will be back next week, and we can carry on with our adventure, and hopefully make our way to Jorathrasta to face off against Kiamat Redscale. So for tonight, I've been Matt Geary. With me has been Michael Starvel Eldon.
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. It was the one-armed man. Jace as Brother Gadden.
Citizens, we are arresting you.
Lecky as Bartholomew Pringle.
Bye.
Marcus Lance.
It's all right, lads. I've got an idea.
And Vic as Saren Sanguine.
Stop right there, criminal scum.
Night, everybody.